The following is a presentation of iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Tonight, from Thunder Valley, the USR B&C Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series is in full swing at the Bristol Motor Speedway for tonight's running of the Folds of Honor 200. As the trucks roll into qualifying, I want to welcome everyone from YouTube, iRacing Live, and Facebook Live as well, as we start round 18 here on LSR TV. Up here in the booth tonight with me, Austin Coop, is Kelly Dahl, driver in the Super Speedway Cup Series, and also want to introduce in the infield production trailer, giving us all the great camera work, is Cisco Scarmuza. Now, for tonight's race here at Bristol, it's a pretty special race that we're going to be holding for all of you tonight, and there's also a little bit on the line in store for the Folds of Honor Foundation. For tonight's race, Steve Herring will be donating $2 per lap of green flag racing to the Folds of Honor Foundation. And if you don't know about Folds of Honor and their foundation, you can go to foldsofhonor.org and learn more about it. Their mission is to provide educational scholarships to spouses and children of the America's fallen and disabled service members. So if you feel yourself to give and donate, go on over, and we'll definitely talk about it throughout the broadcast. We're going to talk a little bit more about the track and the racing here just for a second here, Kelly. This track is known as the Last Great Coliseum. As many race fans know, this is a track where you get up and close and personal with your competitors, and things can get really rough here, and it's really fun to watch these trucks. These trucks are so big, so fast at these tracks, and with a track that's so small, be it so fast, what's going to keep these guys on the track?
Well, the name The Last Great Coliseum is so fitting for this track because these drivers really do battle it out here. You do not have much space on the track, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult and tempers can run a little high. It's just a natural byproduct of short track racing. So you're stuck behind someone you want to get through, eventually you get frustrated and start using that bumper. And, not just the racing gives it that name, but also just the imagery of this racetrack. I mean, it almost looks like a football stadium because you've got those high seats all the way around the track, and it's just such an amazing track. And really, these guys are some of the cleanest drivers we broadcast on here, but I mean, it's short track racing. It can get on anyone's nerves.
And speaking of a football field, this Coliseum, as we'll call it tonight, it was used for a football arena not too long ago. So I think very fitting that you said that. The story of the night, and I think of something we'll talk about, is Justin Michael and Jamie Walker. Those two have been at it for the last few weeks, and Justin Michael has trumped him only by a position for the last 2 weeks, and just a little bit more than that the week before, because Justin Michael has won the last 3 of 3 for a total of 7 races on the season. He's quickly becoming one of the most decorated winners of all time in this series. It's quite impressive, and we'll get you some points and all that jazz later on. Jamie Walker still holds on to that lead, but not by much. It's getting ever so small. 11 points is the difference between those two with 3 races to go, and it's 3 races to go, and they're not even fighting for a championship quite yet, and it's already getting really interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, those two drivers are so close, not just in points, but also on the all-time wins list. They're currently tied both at 7. So if Justin Michael does make it 4 in a row tonight, he'll move into the sole possession of 4th place of the all-time win list in the USR B&C Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series. So it's definitely going to be an interesting story to watch here tonight, and I don't know. It's going to be. I don't know how well Justin Michael's going to do at this track. I mean, Jamie Walker's already putting down some insanely quick laps, but he does that all the time. It's the reason why he's the all-time pole winner, and he's held held 24 pole positions over his time in this league, and that's because that guy can put down some blistering laps when he needs to.
And when you're starting up front, it always makes it easier for you to get yourself a better finish. We talked about consistency with Jamie Walker. He's always been up there, always been at the front. 24 poles in his time here in the United Sim Racing BNC Lawn Landscaping Truck Series for the last two seasons. That's a high one, and 4 for the season. So if he gets it tonight, it'll be his fifth of the season and his 25th of his career here, and that's nothing to boot. Now to go back to the bottom side of the top 12 with Dwayne Dunn and Steve Herring. The gap got a little bit bigger last time with Dwayne Dunn. He now has an 18-point lead over Steve Herring. And those two drivers getting very close. And also, Scott Formosa, he's been rallying up quite a bit in the last few weeks. That machine was definitely looking to have a little bit of a comeback here this evening, because the last couple nights he went from 15th to 14th, and he's still gaining on Steve Herring.
Yeah, and you can't really count him out just yet. I mean, the points are still very close, but there's not a lot of time left to go. I mean, if he's wanting to race his way into the chase here, he's got to make some moves tonight. We've got 3 races, including tonight, until we head off to Atlanta for race 1 of the chase. So, I mean, it's still a lot of ground he needs to make up. So for him to get into the chase, he pretty much just has to have 3 good races. He can't afford any mistakes at all, not just tonight, but for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, and currently he sits in the 15th position on the grid, so definitely going to have his work cut out for him tonight, as a lot of these drivers are going to. If you're not in the top 5, it's going to be pretty difficult to get yourself up there, and this is the track where if you start up front, you're going to pretty much stay up front for the most part. And as qualifying does finish up here, Jamie Walker gets his 25th pole of BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series history. So that's a pretty big milestone for that driver, 5th on the season. He'll get that with a 14.901, followed by Dwayne Dunn. He's that guy on the cutoff. He needs a good night to keep himself in the top 12. Bobby Terrell in 3rd. Ralph Vandervorst. He's going to start in that 4th position. Ricky Howell Jr. in the 5th position. Robert Gillenwater is going to start 6th. Louis Robinette starts 7th. Mark McCrary, he's going to start in that 8th position. 9th is Robert Barber. And in the 10th position starts Dylan Phillips.
In 11th, we will see Matt Mara. 12th is Shane Hawther. The 99 of Tristan Beats is going to be rolling off in 13th. Justin Michael, going for 4 in a row, is currently sitting in 14th, so he's going to have a lot of trucks to pass to get to keep that win streak alive. 15th, we see Scott Formosa. 16th, George Hendricks. 17th, the last truck to take a qualifying time is Chris Guibault. Jason Jacoby rolls off in 18th. 19th goes to Scott Simley, and rounding to the top 20 is Michael W. Waters.
Starting 21st is Justin Kleber. And number 93 truck, Greg Mall, starts in that number 12 truck in the 22nd position. Aaron Bennett starts 23rd, and to round out our slightly shorter than normal field is Stephen Herring in that 24th position. And with that, we're going to go to the track facts. We already talked a lot about this track. It was been opened in 1961 and has since given us loads of racing. And since the repave in 2009, it's been giving us a little bit slightly lower banking, which is going to be giving us 26 degrees in the corners to 30 degrees in the corners, and then 6 to 10 on the straights. And with this half-mile Coliseum Oval, we'll keep calling it tonight, it's going to give us a lot of fun tonight to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting race. These guys will end up doing 2 pace laps, I believe, just to make sure everyone will get bunched up, because again, half mile, you don't have a lot of time to get everyone on the line here, but as soon as that pace car makes another lap around, we will get to racing, and these guys will get to battling. 200 laps ahead of them. However, I don't think we're going to be waiting long for these guys to be attacking each other for positions.
And with one more pace lap to go, we want to give a shout out to BNC Lawn and Landscaping Service for their coverage, or for their they provide all of the help that the series needs to give it to you here on the big screen here on YouTube. And also want to thank our friends at Joel Real Timing for helping us with all the timing needs that we need to give to you here on pit road and on the track between drivers and their intervals. So back on the back straightaway, pace car is leading Jamie Walker, and Jamie Walker, he will lead these guys to the green flag for the first laps, maybe? We'll see. He starts on the bottom, and we know the top is so good at this track. And Jamie Walker, he's going to get a great start. Huge start for that number 17 truck, as we're going to get the Folds of Honor 200 laps around this track here at Bristol.
And it looked like a bit of a checkup from the 66 of Ralph Vandervoort, which held up that outside line. So the inside got a great run going on there. So Jamie Walker jumping off to a huge lead off the bat. And looks like we got someone moving for the inside there. Ricky Howell Jr., he's going to try for third place on the inside for the 94 of Bobby Tyrrell. But they are still side by side. Neither one of them has gained any ground. Bobby Tyrrell run a little bit wide through that corner. So that'll give third place up to Ricky Howell Jr.
Yeah, that's a move you can really make with the new fresh tires here in that number 18 truck. Really fast truck. Started fifth, already up 2 positions. The only other driver to do that I can see is Louis Robinette, who started on the bottom as well in that 5th position. So a couple guys really starting to find their groove fast. Louis Robinette in the number 30 truck. That's a huge move, and these drivers are starting to single file out, but we're already seeing some distinct entrances. Look at the 31 truck of Mark McCrary and the 88. They're doing battle. Look at the 87 right behind them. That's Justin Michael. Look at some guys in the wall. 77 truck. Dylan Phillips in the wall just a little bit. Oh, he's still in the wall.
Oh, contact
behind them, and he's in the wall again in turns 3 and 4.
Tristan Beats looked like he nearly lost that truck when he made contact with the 77, and the 77 just smashing up the right side of his truck. I mean, the high line is the best line around here, but he just hasn't quite got it dialed in, it seems, and he keeps just slamming the right side against the wall. So he's got to get something figured out, work on his line a little bit, maybe calm himself down, because he is just destroying his truck. I mean, short tracks you can handle a bit more damage, but if you beat up the truck too much, you're going to start rubbing the tire a little bit, and that will slow you down.
And not to anybody's surprise, but up 5 positions is that number 87 truck of Justin Michael. As he rounds out turns 2, he's already 3.5 seconds behind, and he is up quite a bit of positions. Next battle behind them, 55, 34 going through the corners. Give to that 55. No, there he goes. He clears them. That's going to be the 55 of Michael Waters. He started pretty far back in the field as well. And these trucks still go side by side in the back, but once you get single file, it becomes a lot harder to pass. And we're still seeing a lot of side by side actions, a lot of good racing out here, a lot of clean. And you talked about it before the broadcasts, Kelly. Now these drivers are probably the most clean drivers that we see here on the broadcast. And definitely seeing it tonight, 10 laps in, that $2 per lap, there's already $20 in the bank for Folds of Honor.
Yeah, however, I don't know if that'll last all that long. I mean, you can be the most level-headed person around, but short track racing does eventually get to everyone. I mean, you're in such close quarters, there's not much room to give and there's not much room to take, so usually you end up rubbing doors, rubbing fenders, and sometimes someone will just lose it and give another guy a good shot to the back. I mean, especially coming down to the last few laps, you might see a couple people maybe attempt a bump and run coming through the last few corners.
Going back up to the front, we need to take a look at the humongous lead between Jamie Walker and Ricky Howell Jr. It's 1.5 seconds. Actually, a little bit larger than that. But that's an amazing lead that he's already got. And due in part to the battle that Ricky Howell Jr. has done against all the guys in front of him. He's getting so close to this outside wall in turns 2 and turns 4. It's incredible to watch this 18 truck get so close to the wall. He got past the number 39 of Dwayne Dunn quite easily, but still had to do a couple laps side by side. And then look behind him, 94 is trying to do some battle underneath the 39 truck as well. That's Bobby Tyrrell, trying to make sure he stays in the top 12 as well, getting himself a good points day. That 94 truck still in 4th position after this, giving that spot away. That 18 truck, that's a truck that's on a rail, not losing a whole lot of time to the 17 of Jamie Walker, but when you have 1.6 seconds to try and chew off, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, ever since he got into second, he hasn't really lost any time to Jamie Walker, but at the same time, he hasn't gained any. They've stayed completely even, so really at this point, Ricky Howell has got to hope for a yellow to catch up to Jamie Walker, because he is a long distance ahead. It's now sitting at a time of 1.7 after Ricky made a slight error and scraped the wall on that last lap. And he's now got the Dwayne Dunn closing in on his bumper, so he's got to start getting his line back into shape and maybe gaining some speed on Jamie Walker, or else he's going to come under fire from Dwayne Dunn, and as soon as that happens, Jamie Walker's going to get even further away.
Yeah, you can already see the move by the 39 truck trying to get under Ricky Howell Jr. in the corner just about a couple corners ago. And there's the 18 in the outside wall. Right on turn 4, you're going to watch him try and sneak underneath. Not going to quite get there. 18 truck. I said he's gotten so close to that wall, and so close can only go so far when you do it so many laps in a row. Those tires are not going to like you that much. And you can see the distinct differences in lines. It's working out for the 18 so far.
And Dwayne's just trying to see if he can find a way around. I mean, at this point, he's probably not going to spin him. They're only 20 laps into a 200-lap race. So, I mean, if it was later on, he'd probably give him a little shot, see if he can get somewhere. But at this point, he's just trying to see if he can hope for the 18 to make another mistake and slip up underneath him. And there's that possible mistake. The 18 gets in the wall once again, but not enough ground gained by Dwayne Dunn there.
And look at the 94 of Bobby Terrell trying to join the party as well. He's trying the low line. That's not so easy to do at this track. You really have to be patient. You really, you have to be just really good with your truck in order to run that bottom line, and just know that the truck, you're going to have to drive the truck. If you drive the top line, you drive the track. If you drive the bottom, it's not the fastest line. We've seen that. We see the trucks try that. But he's trying the bottom, and it's not doing too bad for him, actually. You can see that the rubber's flying right off his right front tires. He's going in there a little bit hotter than everybody else, but he's making it work just a little bit. It's just going to be really hard to get that pass executed on the 39 while he's trying to go after the 18 right here.
And I believe this track has progressive banking, so on that bottom side you don't have as much banking to work with, so you put a little bit more effort on the tires and wear them off a little bit more. And here comes the 39. He's now going to get to the inside of the 18, right up to the quarter panel. They're now almost even up, going through the corner, side by side, coming off the corner. 39's going to get a nose up. They nearly touch. Going into turns 3 and 4 now. 18 still trying to hold on to that high side, but Dwayne Dunn on the bottom side will get the nose up ahead, and he will be scored in second place that time around, but he's still not quite clear as they keep fighting out. Jamie Walker's going to keep going away, and they touch again going into turn 3.
Fantastic racing down the back straightaway, and the 39's just going to bully himself to the second place after they already did battle once. I don't think the 18's going to be too happy. You see a little bit of bumping right there. Don't know if that was a courtesy shot saying I wasn't too happy about that. Definitely the 39 said, hey, I'm going to move you over in the back straightaway, maybe, hopefully, so you don't get into turn 3 as well, and I can go around you. And whether that was intentional or not, I can't really say. I could see it go both ways, but the 39 trucks, he's going to really pull away from the 18. Definitely faster truck at this point. But we have our first caution of the night. It's going to be back in turns number, looks like the back straightaway maybe. Yeah, the 42 truck of Matt Mora, blown engine, possibly down in turns number 2.
I'm looking at it now. He got into the wall off of 4 and collided with the, looks like the 84, maybe the 84.
Yeah, they came off of turn 4 and together.
Oh, sorry, no, the 34. Sorry,
34 of Greg Hendricks. Wow, that was quite the spectacular crash. I haven't seen anything like that before. They both hit each other and the wall basically at the same time, and the 42 just went absolute airborne. All 4 tires off the ground. Both trucks will probably be done for the night. That's heavy damage on both trucks. Looks like the 34 is still driving out there, but I can't imagine that truck's gonna be there for long, as we're definitely gonna see pit stops.
And that's another thing about this track. There are 2 pit lanes, so it's definitely going to be interesting how this is going to affect everyone. Dwayne Dunn seems to have, I can't understand if he didn't stop there or not. I think he may be taking both pit lanes, or maybe went into the wrong pit lane.
Yeah, it appears that maybe there's a little bit of a mix-up in the scoring. Perhaps that Justin Michael was able to squeeze into the pit lane the first time it was open, and some of these other guys did not notice. I'm going to be guessing that's going to be it, because he's still scored in the first position once it all gets rounded out. So a little bit of confusion with lap trucks coming across the start-finish line, but I'm sure once they get another couple laps, we'll get it all figured out. The 66 truck of Ralph van der Vorst is currently in the lead but I can't presume that he's going to stay there. Yeah, these trucks are coming down pit road, so I'm going to assume that the pit road was open, and only some of these drivers were clued in that it was going to be open immediately. So definitely something at a track like this where pace laps are so quick, you really have to be on your toes, even if it's under caution.
Again, you also have 2 pit roads, so you have to figure out which one's yours, and it's a very easy mistake to make, and you can get quickly turned around on where you are on this track as well, because of how it's laid out like a stadium. There's not too many identifying features on the track to be able to tell exactly where you are, and after a number of laps you can really get confused on if you're on the front stretch or the back stretch.
Well, as we hit lap 33, I do believe it was 29 green flag laps that we ran, so times that by 2, and that's how much we get for dollars donated towards the Folds of Honor Foundation here. It's what this race is called, Folds of Honor 200. Jamie Walker leads these guys into turns 3. Pace car lights are already off. That's how fast these caution laps do go by. And we have a slightly different picture up front. Jamie Walker, that's not different, but look at Bobby Terrell. He's in second. Robert Gillenwater, where did he come from? And then you could say the same about the 87 of Justin Michael. And look at Scott Formosa. Needs good finishes right now. He's in the 5th position. That's your top 5 coming to the green flag this time by. Pace car is going to be coming down here in just a little bit. We're going to see these guys go back under green flag conditions at the last great Coliseum. And Jamie Walker, he's off again. Not as good of a start as he got at the very beginning of the race, but nonetheless, he's got about 3 car lengths above or in front of Bobby Terrell, and they're side by side behind him. Look at Robert Gillenwater, gets really loose out of turn 2. That gives way for the number 87 of Justin Michael to already get 3rd position.
Yeah, it looks like Robert Gillenwater just struggled on that low side and just lost that ground to Justin Michael. And it looks like he's now going to come under fire from Scott Formosa. Scott Formosa getting right up to his bumper off of that corner and just couldn't quite make the move. But look, just behind them, Jason Jacoby trying to cut in on the 88 of Robert Barber, but Barber just chops across his nose to hold on to his position.
And look at that, 2 wide behind them. Looks like for the top 10 position, 31 going after the 77, other way around, I should say, and that's for 11th position. 77 to Dylan Phillips, trying to get another position. Started 8th, fell back a couple positions, and he's going to lose that position to the 31 of Mark McCrary. Mark McCrary trying to make sure that he does not fall too far back and stays with this slightly big crack here in front of him. And look at number 4, Robert Gillenwater. We got a crash off turn 4, right on the front straightaway. And they're going to keep it straight. No caution flag yet. We'll get a replay for you as they're going through, actually 3 wide right now to turn 2. This ain't going to work, boys. Oh, wow. It did work, but not for that long. They settled it out. Oh, wow. So much action going on the track right now.
Contact now. The 5 is around.
Number 5.
The 12 and the 44.
Well, there's only so much happening on the track. Something was bound to happen, and it happened out of turns number 4. And I'll tell you that the 5 was just a passenger on that one, and multiple trucks involved in that one. We'll get a replay up here for you folks as the 5 was slowing down for the 12. And then when he slowed down, the 93 just came and piled into him on the front straightaway, turned them around, and then the 44 truck also, that is going to be the number 44 of Jason Jacoby, also gets into that little mess and spins out. 12 spins out as well. Big calamity on the front stretch.
Yeah, and that's just another byproduct of this track. Is again, not much room on this track for you to go. So as soon as people start wrecking in front of you, you just have to hope for a gap to open up in front of you. And it is kind of a self-cleaning track, so to say, that the cars will immediately slide down that banking. But I mean, it's in that time frame, you got to find a gap and hope you make it.
And we're going to try and maybe get an onboard with the number 39 of Dwayne Dunn, who narrowly escaped this one. It was amazing to watch him on the front straightaway. And how he got through this, he's just going to have, I mean, he had the smallest window. And I've never seen a driver have that small of a window and been able to get through it. But 39, that was spectacular.
And he just, I guess he's got the luck with him tonight, because there's definitely not much space that he had in front of him. Looks like he just kind of held the wheel straight, kept his foot planted, and hoped things worked out for him. He made a quick move behind, below to the low side to get under the 12, but the 44 ricocheted off the wall, and just he lucked out with the way the 44 spun, and he was able to quickly get through before that gap slammed shut.
And with that, believe it or not, we're already 43 laps into this race. It is a short track, and we are clicking off laps, but even then, we've ran a lot of green flag laps and add another 3 or 4 onto that one to make it about 33, 34 laps under green tonight. Second caution of the night. Quite a bit of damaged trucks, but it wouldn't be the last great Coliseum if it wasn't, or sorry, the other way around. They wouldn't be, well, we'll just get back to that one later. I can't think, my analogy is messing up right now, but pace car running these guys around the field. Jamie Walker, oh, and look who it is. Justin Michael rejoins the front where, well, have we seen this before, Kelly? Jamie Walker and Justin Michael, first and second. Typically, we've seen it the other way around with them 1-2. But they're 1-2 again, and this rivalry is so fun to watch. It's a very clean battle between these guys week in and week out. And last week, they both said it was just one of those racing deals. But this is so much fun to watch these two drivers fight at the front.
Yeah, it seems to be the thing that happens every week. Jamie Walker will qualify better than Justin Michael, but Justin Michael will fight through the field and either be a bit better on the worn tires or make a great strategy call and get around Jamie Walker near the end. But it's always interesting to see these guys battle it out because they're so evenly matched in their pace here. As they start to form 2x2 this time around, it looks like the pace car lights are out, so they're going to be going green this time. We'll see if Justin Michael can take the fight to Jamie Walker.
Two completely different personalities up front between the 17 and the 87. One really wants that championship first position at the end. The other one doesn't. And that's the one who's in second. Green flag is going to roll in the air. Jamie Walker hunted down by Justin Michael. And here we go. Second restart of the day. Third green flag of the night. They're going to go 2x2 right behind them. Gillenwater, they're going to try and make sure that he gets his truck back where he needs it. 30 truck in the wall, and it's outside. And we got a big junk. 31 on the outside hits the wall and almost destroys it. Oh, huge! That's going to be the 99 truck at Tristan Beats. No caution yet, but huge damage for the number 18 as well of Ricky Howell Jr., who was doing oh so well earlier today. No caution's going to come out for either of those drivers, and they're going to have to find a way to get some luck later on. But up front, it's the same as it was, and that actually got this field pretty spread out pretty quickly, and a lot of these drivers are going to be very happy about that. Next battle on track 44, 39, and look at that 39 of Dwayne Dunn trying to fight back from earlier. Had a little bit of luck on that last caution, or that last wreck, and he's on the outside and trying to get number 10.
And it looks like he will get around Jason Jacoby that time by, and he's got to keep going for a little bit more if he wants to get himself back into the top 10. And it looks like he didn't get too much damage from that last wreck, so he can keep that truck going. It looks like the 11 gets in the wall once again, so a lot of these trucks are really scraping up that right side.
The closer you can really get to that wall, the better. And even in some aspect, if you actually just touch that wall, it can actually straighten you out and make you a little bit faster. So I know the race officials definitely look at that pretty closely. Don't see anyone really abusing that as that can really help you at a track like this. If you're going as fast as you can and you use that wall to push off, it's almost like swimming and you're just pulling yourself along. But looks like the bottom side's really looking for that 39 of Dwayne Dunn, as he's going to get that 10th position from the 11 right there. 39 truck's just oh so fast here at this track, and definitely flexing his muscles. Look at the 3 car on the bottom, 44, or the 3, the 4, and the 55 doing battle for that 6th position. Gillenwater trying to do everything he can, was involved in that last incident. Still running out there, and almost in the top 5 here, trying to get that one there. The 3 in the bottom, Aaron Bennett trying to do everything he can to make that bottom work, and it's working almost every other lap. He's still able to be down there, but nonetheless, he's trapped down there. He can try and get that position here, and he's got to clear him. He's going to do it. 4 makes a mistake. Gillenwater's going to make them a huge mistake right there, and leave the door open for the 55.
And now Michael's going to slot up right in front of the 4, and the 3 again is going to go to the bottom, try to get around this 88, and the 88 is going to get into the wall. So there's going to be a bit of advantage now for the 3. He's still side by side with the 88, still trying to make that bottom line work, and it looks like he may get clear this time off the corner. Not quite, still just bumper to bumper even up here. Now the 88 running a bit wide, not quite getting the runoff, and it's going to open the door for the 55 now. The 55 of Michael Waters, he's going to try to make a move on the bottom side of the 88.
We see these drivers roll up to the top side once they make their pass, but watching these drivers do the bottom side to try and make their passes is actually quite surprising that they're able to execute it. I think that they're really able to focus on getting down there and then hoping for a mistake. And we've seen Aaron Bennett make almost not all of his passes this last few laps, but just quite a few of them. I think the last two off of mistakes from other drivers, and that's what you got to do. You got to be able to take advantage of another driver's misfortune in order to help yourself in a track like this, where it is somewhat a single line track. But when you can make the bottom work as well as the number 3 does, or the 39 of Dwayne Dunn does, you can really make some magic work at a track like this. But you can also work on a mistake. Look at the 3 and the 30 go side by side in the back straightaway. 30 made a mistake, ran into the wall. 3's right back under him. Just like that. 3 is taking huge strides, and he's going to be in that 4th position now. That 3 truck of Aaron Bennett has gone up 3 positions in the last 5 laps.
Yeah, he's really recovered from being stuck a few positions back there. And started this race in 23rd. He's now up to 4th. So Aaron Bennett is certainly making moves and making his way up through the field, but he's still 2.7 seconds back of Jamie Walker. And speaking of Jamie Walker, his lead has been staying. His lead over Justin Michael has stayed steady at half a second over these last few laps. So Justin Michael and Jamie Walker are once again nearly even on their race times.
And we've seen it before. 17 truck trying to keep the 87 at bay. Sometimes the other way around. And we've seen these guys just do it over and over again. And they're going to come up across lap traffic here in just a few laps. Tristan Beats was involved in an accident that did not bring out a caution. And that number 99 definitely is looking to try and stay on the lead lap as long as possible. He'll be one of 2 at that point if he does become a lap down. But he's also going to make those drivers either go to the high side or to the bottom side to pass him. This is an interesting track. At most short tracks, the lap cars will stay on the bottom and the leaders have to go on the outside. This time, he's going to stay on the outside, and they're going to go on the inside, more than likely. We don't know that. We don't know what their kind of communication is. They're actually communicating right now what they're going to do, and he's actually going to go to the bottom. So opposite what you'd normally think, but nonetheless, 17 is going to be able to get the preferred line like you'd like. So courteous from the lap car to do that.
Yeah, you just watch his mirror and see what line the 17 is taking, and it's shown multiple times tonight that preferred line is the outside unless you're trying to make a move to pass. So it's not too terribly surprising at this track for the 99 or any lap car for that matter to go to the inside. But as you said, most other tracks the lap car will stay to the high side and let the leaders underneath. But oh, the 99 getting a little loose off of the corner there. It looks like he may have hit the apron trying to stay down a little too much.
Yeah, he's not being able to be in control of his car just quite, and had so much damage on that track. You definitely know why. That 30 truck of Lewis Robinette's been able to keep the 39 and the 55 at bay, as they are definitely going heavy fire on that number 30 truck. They were side by side not too long ago. 3 of them were in a small crunch. Look at the 30 car just make a tiny mistake off of 2. Almost looks like he got loose. 39 truck's going to try and make the best of it. He's up at least 5 positions since the start. And look at that run he has off the corner. A huge run. The 39 truck of Dwayne Dunn definitely trying to make his mark right now and doing a great job of it. Started 7th, went all the way to the back because of a pitting issue, and then came back up through the field. Quite a job that 39 truck has done all night.
He's still stuck on the low side, hasn't quite got clear, but now off of this corner, he's going to be way clear of the 30. So Lewis Robinette losing another position, and Dwayne Dunn making his way up to the front now, got himself into the top 5. So some great driving from Dwayne Dunn, and you got to start wondering how much rubber is left on these tires for some of these trucks.
Oh, look at the battle right outside the top 10, the 4, the 31, and the 98. They're doing battle right here. Robert Gillenwater and Mark McCrary right there in turn 4. 31's trying the bottom line. It's not quite working. And then look behind him. The huge little mosh right there. 88, 93. Got a little bit of battle in here. One shot right here. 2 battles for 3 trucks each battle. It's getting pretty tight and intense on the bottom. Scott Simley, the 68 truck, trying to take advantage of the bottom. It's not going to quite work. Those 2 are still side by side, as the guys in front of them are also side by side.
And the 98 now looking like he's going to get clear of the 4. The 68 now pulls even up with Robert Barber in that 88 truck, but Barber carrying some good speed throughout the high side and pushing it down on the inside, down the backstretch. With the inside, Scott Simley, he's getting holding up some speed, and now it looks like Justin Cleaver is going to try to follow him through on the bottom side. The 68 gets clear of the 88. 88 nearly gets to the bumper of the 68. Now gets into the wall, gets to the side of the 93, but they all somehow regain control. 88 making more contact with the wall, so a little bit of damage to that truck, but he keeps that thing pointed in a straight line, and somehow we stay green.
Wow, that 88 truck of Robert Barber, that's a lot of control that him and the 93 truck had to have in order to make that not a catastrophe, and they did it awfully well. Right behind him, there's quite the babble of trucks, and also doing a little bit of battle. 18 and 11, they were involved in issues earlier, still very much wounded, but trying to do everything they can to stay in the lead lap position as they're not too far. Jamie Walker is in turns number 2. Right now, we're coming off the front straightaway, actually, going into turns number 1, and they're coming off turns number 2. So they're only about a corner and a half, really, away, or a corner, I should say, or a straightaway away from these guys. And that's not that long in short track turns, as we know. I mean, Jamie Walker's just doing some flat-out fast laps compared to these trucks at the back, and they're doing everything they can just to keep their position from one another, let alone keep their lead lap status here, and it's not going to be too long before he catches them.
But something we haven't talked about, Aaron Bennett somehow got around Justin Michael. Now he's making a move for the lead. He dives to the inside of Jamie Walker, and Aaron Bennett is somehow flying around this track. It looks like he has a ton of speed. It's almost like he's on a different set of tires from Jamie Walker, and now they're door-to-door, even up across the line, separated by only a thousandth of a second. Aaron Bennett now will get clear coming off of turn number 2, so move Aaron Bennett to that first place position. I don't know where he came from, but he gained a ton of time over Jamie Walker.
Yeah, we talked about how he was able to make that bottom line work, and it is because he got tires. We had the caution. Drivers came in, him included. Then the second caution, hardly anybody came in except for those who were damaged. And of course, at number 3 of Aaron Bennett, who started 23rd already, so it wasn't a lost cause to him to come down pit road, get some tires. He already started towards the very back of the field, so give the lead position to the number 3. Great call from the Aaron Bennett machine to really give that truck a great position, and he's only going to pull away, and he's going to start to lap these guys. Oh, wow, look at the number 11 getting away right there. It's kind of part of it, but 11 truck doing everything he can to be as fast as he can. Definitely 3 was not expecting it off of turns number 4. Had to really get in the brakes good, but already 7/10 away and probably a second here at the line. Absolutely stunning from that number 3, and this is going to show you what tires can do on a long green flag lap as we come to lap 88 this time.
Yeah, not only that, but Jamie Walker's going to have to pit a bit sooner than Aaron Bennett, so Jamie really has to Jamie really has to hope for another yellow to come out for him to get onto the same kind of strategy that Aaron's on right now. So Jamie, like, there's really nothing he can do with his tires right now. Aaron's just going to run away from him, and Jamie's just going to have to sit and wait for either a pit stop, a green flag pit stop, or a yellow flag to come out.
Yeah, the advantage is definitely the number 3 truck's hand, because as these guys run about a 60 to 75% fuel cell each and every week, they're going to go about 90 laps on a fuel run, and even from the last pit stop, they're only going to have 1 pit stop on fuel, because you don't come down for tires. It's just too short of a track to do that. So keep that in mind whenever the number 3 truck, he'll only have to pit 1 time under green flag conditions. Of course, this is a short track, and we are at the last Great Coliseum, so you'd expect maybe another caution here between now and the end. But even then, he still put himself in a better position than he ever was by taking the chance of getting those tires and see what they could bring to the table. He got himself with almost a 2-second, well, it is over 2 seconds now, a 2-second lead over everybody, and if this continues to go green, it's going to be an absolute domination from that 3. But even if a caution comes out, he's still going to be the lead in a great position.
Yeah, right now Aaron just has to hope for everyone to stay clean and for this race to stay green, because he is taking off from Jamie Walker. That gap is already up at 2.4 seconds, and now Dwayne Dunn is starting to close on to Jamie Walker. Dwayne Dunn now coming right up to the bumper as this battle for second is starting to shape up. I mean, he was a few seconds back a few laps ago, and Now here he is going to the inside of Jamie Walker. Jamie Walker stuck on the high side. He's tried to make that work throughout the night, but Dwayne Dunn looking to be just faster, and here he goes clear off of turn number 4, and Dwayne Dunn now up to second.
Yeah, definitely a lot of other drivers on the same strategy as number 3. Number 3 was just the first to really pop out to us, as I definitely remember the 39 and the few other drivers starting at the back of the field, and I was curious of why these guys came down pit road, and this is definitely why. They are on a humongous advantage, and even with the new tires that Dwayne Dunn has, this lead between him, the number 39, and the 3 of Aaron Bennett is monstrous. It's 3 seconds, and no matter how much you try and push a truck on equal grounds, 3 seconds is a massive amount of time to have to bring up. And yeah, that's an amazing accomplishment from the 3. The race isn't over. It's almost halfway, though. And we have a lot of racing still to go. The Folds of Honor 200. We're going to look at the number 31 of Mark McCrary. He's doing battle right there in that number 31 machine, trying to track down the 94. Just got right by him, actually. Got right by him. And that truck is going to be sailing off as well. So different strategies. I think the call from now on under caution conditions is to come down pit road and get your tires, Kelly.
Yeah, we saw Justin Michael start that last restart in second place, and now he's dropped all the way back to 7th. So there's certainly something not right in that truck, and I would assume that it's the tires have completely fallen off underneath of him, and these guys are just flying by him left, right, and center. So it's, again, like you said, that every time these guys have to come down for tires because it's making such a huge difference right now.
Yeah, and you can just see the easy difference, you know. And with this, those drivers at the end of the field who did not take tires, there's only 13 trucks on the lead lap now. We have 24 trucks, and only about 3 of them are off due to damage, or out, I should say. And there's, I mean, this is huge. I mean, there's so many drivers, so many good drivers that we saw earlier. Look at number 4, Robert Gillenwater. He just got lapped. Number 93 just got lapped. And we only have 12 trucks now on the lead lap. And Lewis Robinette's going to be the next victim here in the next few laps as well. With Dylan Phillips, he's in 11th. This is going to really narrow down who's on the lead lap. And to anybody but the top 3 or 4, now I'm going to say the top 4 or 5 actually, this is really good for them, because if a caution then comes out, they're going to be in good hands. They can do whatever strategy they want to and don't have to worry about falling back too much.
Yeah, but if I were them, I'd stick with the strategy of take tires every time. And speaking of Robert Gillenwater, he's now on the inside of Justin Kleber. They're still battling, even if they are a lap down. Look at the 18 of Ricky Howell Jr. He's getting involved in this as well. Ricky Howell Jr. getting a great run off the corner. So that high side, gets a little bit of a checkup, and how he's going to get tagged from the back and from the front. They're going to nearly go door to door. There's this 66 of Vandervorst there, nearly slammed into the 18 once again, but these guys somehow regain control of the trucks and they stay green.
Yeah, this is almost calamity with these guys. This is absolutely crazy here with these lapped cars right here. And then they had the 93 of Dwayne Dunn that's right behind them. He's a lead lap car. He needs to get around these guys. But they're 2 abreast, 2 rows deep for these guys. He's nowhere to go. He's only getting, I mean, he was catching Aaron Bennett about a 10th a lap, and he's got nowhere to go. He's going to lose so much time. They're going to go 3 wide right in front of him. This is not what you ever want to see. They're going to make contact, and the 18 is going to go heavy in the wall. 39 is going to keep it straight, but heavy damage for the number 39 of Dwayne Dunn. That's not what you want to see, and we almost saw it coming for the last few laps. That's almost a heartbreaker. He's 4 seconds back, was 2.5 seconds back from the number 3 of Aaron Bennett not too long ago. That's insane, and he's still in second somehow. This is just crazy how this race is starting to formulate as we're at lap 110.
Yeah, Aaron Bennett has really lucked out around that time right there, but he's really taken off. Now 5.7 seconds up, actually now 5.9 as Dwayne Dunn crosses the line that time around. So as Aaron Bennett just quietly picks through these lap cars, he's now put the 77 of Dylan Phillips, our 10th place truck, a lap down. So there's now only 9 trucks on the lead lap, and Aaron Bennett is still just running away with this field.
Well, we crossed halfway just not too long ago, and at this point in the race, we'll take a look at the midway race break, brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier online racing game with professionally organized racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and more. If there's a caution, we'll definitely let you know as we go through the full field rundown with Aaron Bennett in the lead over 6 seconds to Dwayne Dunn. Jamie Walker, he is in third. Bobby Terrell, he's in fourth with Mark McCrary making a good run tonight in fifth. Michael Waters is in sixth. And then we got Scott Simley in 7th. And 8th is Mark McCrary now. And the 9th is Justin Michael. With 10th, Dylan Phillips. First car lap down.
At 11th, we see the 30 of Lewis Robinette. Who actually, I believe, might have just hit. He just dropped off the screen here. So now sitting 10th is Dylan Phillips. 11th, 66 of Ralph Vandervorst. Robert Gillenwater in 12th. 13th is the 12 of Greg Mull, 14th Ricky Howell Jr., Justin Kleber in 15th, 16th is now Lewis Robinette. And the 99 of Tristan Beats is sitting at 17th, 18th is Scott Formosa, 19th is Shane Hother, and rounding out the top 20 is Chris Guibault.
And 20th, or 21st, I should say, Robert Barber. He's 3 laps down. Jason Jacoby out of the race with the next 2 drivers as well in 22nd with George Hendricks in 23rd. And 24th is Matt Mara. So as we conclude the race break, for more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com today and sign up. You can get 13 cars and 14 tracks along with the new dirt content that'll be coming soon. There'll be some free content there. You can look it all up on iRacing.com. At this point in the race, we're going to do a little bit something different. We're going to do a little bit of LSRTV overdrive. So we're going to be doing is we're going to take a little bit break, but we're going to have all the action still on the screen for you as we take just a moment to step aside. As Aaron Bennett crosses the line, he is 9 seconds in front of the next driver of Bobby Terrell. And he's being caught by the lap driver who just took tires, so he's not as fast as these drivers, but it's pretty amazing to see the lead he still has while fighting these drivers, still trying to run as fast as he can. And while we're coming back from LSRTV Overdrive, we do want to give a big thank you to our friends at Joel Real Timing. Coverage of the United Sim Racing BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series is brought to you by Joel Real Timing, the official timeware software, the official timing software of LSRTV. Get it today at joel-real-timing.com, and they help us out with all the timings on pit road. They're on the track as well with intervals between drivers and just lap times in general. It's good to have them on board, and we thank them for their help on the screen. Number 3 of Aaron Bennett actually coming down at this time by for his pit service. A woeing down of the speeds to a 40 or 35 miles per hour. You're going 140 on the track, and you have to lower it down to 100 miles an hour slower. Kelly, this pit road is pretty treacherous, and we're seeing our leader come down right now.
Yeah, it's such an easy pit road to speed on because that speed is so low. It is possibly the slowest on the calendar, and it's very difficult. You have to keep a light foot, keep your eyes on your tachometer while also making sure that you're, for one, in the right pit road, and 2, looking for where your pit box is. But Aaron Bennett has that all nailed. He's now actually a lap down because Dwayne Dunn and Ricky Howell Jr., they haven't come down to pit just yet. So right now, those 2 are the only 2 drivers that are on the lead lap.
Yeah, 2 drivers on the lead lap. You can only really think of a place like this, that this would actually happen. And definitely talk about those drivers. I think the number 12 truck has the very first pit stall on the front straightaway, which is got to be one of the worst pit stalls to ever have. And before the race at a track like this, you look down pit road and you're like, all right, am I on the front stretch or am I the back stretch? And if I'm on the front stretch, since we don't have we typically don't have 43 truck fields here in this series, you won't have to worry about being the first truck on the back stretch. But on the front stretch, if you're that first truck, that's you have to woe down even more, and then you have to go an entire pit road going 35 miles an hour. That's pretty treacherous. Going back up through the field, though, Aaron Bennett's the first truck a lap down. Dwayne Dunn in that 39, still getting passed by all these lap trucks, and gotta wonder how long is he going to stay out there, Kelly. And when he does come down, he is going to lose a lot of position to these guys here out on the track still.
Yeah, he's going to completely lose it to Aaron Bennett. Aaron Bennett has now unlapped himself. So Aaron Bennett now back on the lead lap. We've got 4 trucks on the lead lap now. Now it's saying 5. Aaron Bennett sitting up to third down, chasing down Scott Formosa, who's, I believe, right in front of him just now. So here's a battle for second shaping up. And Scott Formosa trying to see if he can close off Aaron Bennett, but Aaron Bennett again making that low line work as he has many times throughout the night, getting out even up with the 80 and going to clear him. Oh, it looked like a little bit of a waddle coming off of turn number 2 there, but he keeps it under control, and he's now going to take control of second place.
And those passes are oh so hard, even with the brand new tires, when you have a driver who does not want to give that spot up easily. Scott Formosa, with every position he gets ever so closer to sealing the deal on that truck's attempt to get into the championship. We talked about how he's 14th in the points and not too far back from Steve Herring, but pretty far back from Dwayne Dunn at this point, who's also having quite a good race. And Justin Kleiber, he has actually been running pretty well lately too. So it's a little, there's not very much room for error here, and every position matters. And if you're Scott Formosa, you have to do everything you can to get every little bit of points that you can to try and get yourself back in the top 12 to really reset the point standings after the next couple races after this one. Back up front though, Aaron Bennett, he gets the lead back with a 1 second lead over Scott Formosa.
Yeah, gained that lead back as the 39 finally decided to pit, and that will, I believe, put the 39 a lap down. So he may have stayed out on the track just a little bit too long, and that's going to come back to bite him right now, as we're down to, again, just 9 trucks in the lead lap, and looks like the 68 here is about to be lapped by Aaron Bennett. So Aaron's going to go back to work and just picking through the rest of this field and seeing if he can increase that lead he's got on Scott Formosa right now, which is now up to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, Scott Simley doing everything he can, just stay on the top side, try not to be lapped if he can help it, but he knows that 3 truck has the better tires and is going to be able to get the job done with the next few laps. But battles on the track here right now. 39 trying to get to the number 60 or 90. Sorry, that's actually not a battle for position. That was the only battle at the time, but it wasn't for position. We have a lot of battles throughout the track with the 94 on the bottom, 88 on the top right here, but a lot of battles throughout the field just for the actual position on the track, not for position on the standings.
Yeah, again, the 88 was another truck that was a lap down, so there's a lot of these guys just trying to see if they can get through the field. And with how this track is, sometimes you can't really tell if that truck is on your lead lap or not unless you take a quick glance at your relative screen here. So sometimes you have to just approach it as if you're battling for a position, as 94 tries to make another move on a truck that's a lap down. The 93, but the 94 is still trying to chase a truck that is on his lap, but that's Justin Michael, who's just under a second ahead of him.
A lot of drivers just trying to do everything they can just to stay out of each other's way in a certain light, but like you said, just trying to do what you can to get every position you can. And Jamie Walker still just a second ahead of Jamie Walker ahead of Justin Michael, just by about a second there. And you said it, it's almost like these guys can't get away from each other on the pylon or on the track, and still next to each other on that one, and about 2 seconds now separates these 2 drivers. So we're going to take another moment and give a little bit of a last moment break for us as we take a slight commercial break and do a little bit of LSRTV side by side so you don't miss any of the action. We're just going past lap 147 here at Bristol Great Coliseum, and we'll see you here in just a little bit. we're actually going to stay on as the caution comes out. We're going to get a picture for you. I heard an engine blow right there on the back straightaway, I think. So we're going to get that for you right before we go to break. Cannot see who it is, but there was massive contact somewhere out here on the field.
I'm trying to figure out at this point who it was, but I'm still not seeing anyone that...
Scott Simley looks like. Maybe he got into it, but it looks like Michael Waters was turned around on the front straightaway. Coming out of turns number 4. Replay is going to be coming up in just a second. Gets into the side of the 88. 88 comes off the wall. And huge contact from Michael Waters. Huge hit on that truck.
It looked like the 88 might have just gotten loose off the corner, and unfortunately there was nowhere for him to really save it, and got right into Michael Waters, who's on his low side there. So kind of a moment of wrong place, wrong time for the 55. And if he wasn't there, the 88 probably would have just maybe could have held on to it, or maybe would have just lost it on his own to the inside. But Michael Waters, some heavy damage to his truck, and he's currently off course right now.
Well, as we get them re-rolled and re-diced, we will take a moment's break and bring you all the action when this caution flag is about to lift. So we'll be back here on LSRTV in just a moment. You don't want to miss it all. And we'll see you side by side in just a little bit. New faces are up front for the start of this restart as the pace car is going to go back down. Mark McCrary is going to lead them to the start of this one, and big jump on the inside. Not such a good jump for the 17 of Jamie Walker. The 80 of Scott Formosa is going to try and do his best to do it, and they're almost going to go 3 wide. Justin Michael thinks better of it. That top side's where you want to be, but who has the better tires? Justin Michael is going to push, almost push that 80 truck so deep into turn number 1. That's incredible right there. That 80 truck still able to hang on, and the 87 and 17 goes side by side in the corner. Look at that 80 truck getting basically pushed past the number 17 of Jamie Walker. And Walker's going to have to either hold his stuff or keep going. This is the first time we've really seen him have to really push the issue. And he's trying it on the bottom side here, and that turns number 4.
And Justin Michael really was trying to get away around Jamie Walker, and he has found it now. So he really, as he said, just shoved that 80 ahead so he can get that gap for him to work. And now he's going to try to move on the 80. He can't quite get there. Going to tag him a little bit and check the line. Now he's going to get it run off the corner. This time he's going to get around, but he came a little close, and he's going to let the 80 know that they door bang a little bit through the corner. So the 87 showing Scott Formosa that he's not too happy with how they're racing here. And another touch through the corner. So 87 and the 80 really battling out. 87 is going to lose out here. Now he's in the grasp of the 17 of Jamie Walker. So Justin Michael really going to have to watch his mirror now to see if he's going to lose some ground here. Just behind them, the 94 of Bobby Tyrrell and Aaron Bennett are going to be battling. And Aaron Bennett is still on that low side that he has preferred throughout the night, and he's been making it work.
He's been able to make it work when he has better tires, and right now he was the leader before the caution, and then he came out in 6th place or 7th place, and he's going to sit in 6th place. This little group that we have here, this is an interesting little group because we've seen these three race a lot together on the track, but this close. This is my favorite term to bring to the short track, and it's the slinky. Whenever these guys get so close together in the corners and one guy makes a mistake, you can see that 80 truck's bumper, it's all caved in because of Justin Michael. But if one of these drivers makes a small mistake, that slinky's going to expand quickly, and we're going to see a very clogged up racetrack. Hopefully we don't see it. These guys continue to go green, and they keep on doing this good racing here, and it's getting close. You can see how close these trucks are getting in the corners, but 40 laps to go, a little under, and a little bit of patience is not going to be that much later on in the goings.
They're also starting to close up to the 31 of Mark McCrary, so this group of 6 here is now going to be a battle for the lead, and it might be a 6-way battle for the lead. The 80's going to run wide into the wall. The 87 is going to sneak up underneath him. Looks like Jamie Walker's going to follow him through, so a very costly mistake for that 80, and now he's going to nearly give the 87 a taste of his own medicine. Try to check him up here. He's got a lap truck on the inside, so this is going to throw a wrench into things, but it looks like these guys on the bottom are going to stay on the bottom.
Whoa.
Push it 3 wide really quickly. The 97 going to be smart and duck out of the way, but look at the 17, the 3, and the 80 nearly going 3 wide there. The 3 thought about it for a second, seeing if he could make it work. Aaron Bennett has tried that bottom line many times, but made the right decision to back out there. And the 80 now losing a lot of ground. Aaron Bennett now trying to make another move to get himself into 4th as Justin Michaels starts to get to work on closing that gap to Mark McCrary.
As these tires really start to fall off, I see that number 3 of Aaron Bennett really starting to put the wick on these guys. He's one of the fastest truck, if not the fastest truck out there on the track right now, and it's definitely to say that it's the 3's truck to lose whenever it was green flag racing, and at this point you got to say it's the 87 17s and 3s, because the 31's losing just a little bit per lap, and it's only a matter of time before these guys get to them, and when they get to them, it's what you're going to do when you get to them. And so 87's really been aggressive throughout the corners. The 17's been kind of just waiting for the opportune moment, kind of waits for opportunity to get to him, and the 3 car is just forcing it on the bottom. So definitely all 3 of these drivers a little bit different approach by how they've been passing people, but can they pass each other? And that's gonna be the fun part to watching these next 30 laps here.
30 laps to go, but with 15 seconds per lap, it is not a lot of time. And these top 4 now are really closing up the gaps here. As a couple times there, it looked like Jamie Walker nearly gave a little bit of a shove to Justin Michael, and I think he's just going to save that trick a little bit later. Going to see if he can allow Justin Michael to get to work on Mark McCrary and then maybe sneak by with him. But looks like Justin is just going to wait for his chance to move on Mark and maybe even give him a shot. We saw how he kind of just pushed the 80 out of his way, and maybe he'll try that move again on the 31 of Mark McCrary, but he's got not much space between him and Jamie Walker right behind him, as Jamie looking for his own way to get around to get into 2nd place.
Yeah, right now you don't want to be the meat in the sandwich, and that's where the 87 is. He's right in the middle of the 31 and the 87, and look at the 3. He's also going to join the party, so make it a double cheeseburger, I guess, is what you could call this one. The 3's actually trying to go down to the bottom, and ruin my little analogy right there. There's a little bit more space between Mark McCrary as well. And look at the 17 and the 87. Look how close they are through turns 2. 17 was almost there to really move the 87 out of the way. Michael is getting really close to getting past right here and lost a little bit of ground on the 31, but we're also going to see a lot of lap traffic here, and it's going to get really busy here in the front.
This is what Mark McCrary wants to see in his rearview mirror. He wants to see these guys fighting, but it looks like he's going to encounter some heavy traffic as the lap traffic can't decide if they're going to stay on the high side or the low side. 98 on the low side, the 11 staying on the high side. And it looks like they might even go 3 wide possibly at some point here as they get up to some more traffic. So yes, the leader goes 3 wide really quickly. The 11 up into the wall. The 87 trying to find his way through. These lap traffic are not working. The 3 now gets just shut out as he tries to make a move on the inside. Now they're going to go 3 wide. The 17 gets into the wall. The 11 closes down on the 87. These lap traffic is just causing a headache for these drivers at this these lead lap drivers at this moment.
The driver that's not having a headache is, oh, look at the 17 getting completely in the back of the 11. Jamie Walker cannot be happy about that. He let the 3 by, and the 3's out, arguably one of the strongest trucks in the field. As they went side by side, it was just a matter of time, I'd say, before these guys really got into it. And there's a huge gap between McCrary and company behind him. He's got about a second lead, and when you only have 20 laps left, it's McCrary's to really lose at this point. I think without that help from the lap traffic, it was going to be a real fight for that lead, and now he's got the 4 between these lap traffic as well. You still have Aaron Bennett trying to go for second place, and that truck is so strong. Look at him go down to the very bottom of the track, trying to get the 87 on the outside, maybe to pick the number 4 on the outside. Slow the momentum down to the outside line, and 3 truck's been so strong on the bottom, but the lead's only getting bigger for McCrary, who's ultimately made the best choice to maybe take 2 tires on that last stop.
I think there's going to be a number of drivers going to have some choice words for the driver, that 11 truck, for staying on the high side like that. He caused them a lot of trouble, so now they're going to go 3 wide with the lap traffic there. Aaron Bennett was in the middle as the 4 stayed on that bottom side. The 87 still holding his high line there as he's trying to close that gap to Mark McCurry, which has now been extended to a full second now.
As these two do battle, wow, look at the oh my gosh, look at the 3 truck.
What a
huge
shot off
amount
the corner.
of momentum. Yeah, huge amount of momentum out of there in turn 2. Where did that come from? 87 had nothing for him right there, and this is what the number 3 of Aaron Bennett needed. He needed a break, and that was where he got. Now he has to hunt down McCurry. He has 15 laps to do it. You can just see he has something that these other guys behind him don't out of the corners. They get him a little bit on the straightaway, and he's actually still losing McCrary, but this car is a fireball compared to the guys behind him.
He's got some way of taking that corner that is absolutely launching him out of it. It looks like he just stomped on the gas, somehow got those rear tires to stay connected, and just fired off out of the corner and blew past the 87. So I don't know if the 87 maybe just had a bit of trouble at coming off the corner, or if the 3 just has something figured out. But just behind them, the 17 of Jamie Walker and the 94 of Bobby Tyrrell battling it out. It looks like Bobby Tyrrell looked a few times to the inside, but couldn't quite hold on to the position. And now they're encountering more lap traffic here, so he's going to just tuck himself into line, and Aaron Bennett has not much time to gain on Mark McCrary.
Starting to spread out, and would you believe it that we only have 7 trucks on the lead lap with the amount of pit stops we're having during the caution. Definitely becoming quite the issue for some of those drivers, but it doesn't mean that they're not battling out there trying to get every position that they can get. 93 of Justin Kleiber in 8th position, trying to hang on to every bit of that truck that he's got. Look at the side-by-side battle with Jamie Walker and Bobby Tyrrell right there in the bottom. Tyrrell's trying to take that 4th position away from him. He's not going to have it quite there. Under 10 laps to go that time by, actually. The laps are starting to wind down, and no one's catching the leader, but the battle's behind him. You got 2 for 4th and 2 for 5th.
And Bobby Tyrrell not quite the fastest on that bottom line, but it was fast enough to take away that position. So now Jamie Walker going back on the attack, trying to see if he can gain that 4th place back, but he's losing some ground now to Bobby Tyrrell. Bobby's just kind of pulling away from it at this point. Just behind them, there's a bit of a battle between Scott Simley and Scott Formosa. It looks like the Formosa got into the wall, allowing Simley to get by, but they're still trying to hash out these positions. And now Bobby Tyrrell, he's starting to look onto the inside of Justin Michael, trying to see if he can get a run there.
Yeah, these drivers are getting so split out right now with 7 laps to go, and there's only a few positions really up for grabs at this point. Aaron Bennett really kind of away from these guys, still catching our leader, but not quite as much as he would like to at this point, with a second away, 2.1 really away from Mark McCurry, and it really just kind of stands there. They'll have 5 to go at the line this time by, but in the time being before that comes to be, Bobby Tyrrell's trying to take off 3rd from Justin Michael right here.
and they are door to door now going into turn number 1. Bobby Tyrrell on the low side, Justin Michael on the high side. Tyrrell will get a nose going on the backstretch, but still not quite clear, and they are still completely even up here, but a slight advantage, that 94. Again, not clear enough. He's still got the 87 just up to his door. This time, though, he will get clear, not enough to move to the high side, but he is starting to gain some ground on the 87. Luckily, the 87 had a little bit of a wiggle on the entry there into turns 3. He's able to regain control of his truck, but loses the position. So Bobby Tyrrell now taking over 3rd. The 87 now dropping back to 4th, and Jamie Walker now under fire from Scott Simley.
And the lead is getting much smaller as lap traffic is getting close. It's not going to be enough time, I don't think. 2 laps to go last time by. We'll get the white flag this time by. Look at the number 31, trying to get as much as he can get with these guys. Aaron Bennett, look at him. He's still in the picture, just got 2. It's last time by. White flag is in the air. Anything can happen. That 3 of Aaron Bennett, he's on his tail. He's going to try everything he can, and it's just going to be a couple laps too late. 31 of Mark McCrary wins just barely over the 3 of Aaron Bennett, considering how much he was catching him in those last few laps. Fireworks in the air for the 31 machine. That was quite the spectacle right there at the end with that 3, but not enough to catch the 31 of McCrary, who made the ultimate call to win the race.
Not only made the ultimate call, but he did get a little bit of help from that lap traffic holding up those guys behind. He also got a great launch off on that restart, which allowed him to have that gap and have the guys behind him just battle it out and allow him to just kind of walk away a bit. So some great moves by Mark McCrary to really take home this win.
And remember, tonight was the Folds of Honor 200, and there is going to be $2 per lap donated to the Folds of Honor Foundation. So, to give you a rough estimate of how much we're gonna be that is gonna be donated, we ran 187 green laps, so only 13 caution laps. So a total of $374 is going to be donated to the Folds of Honor Foundation, and that's going to be by Steve Herring. So definitely give that guy a big thank you, and for what we're doing, what he's doing for the foundation and what they do for military families. So Mark McCrary takes the Folds of Honor 200 checkered flag and burned it down for a little bit, and a little bit over an hour and 5 seconds determined this race. Quite the short one here for these guys, and we'll give a little break, and we'll take a little bit of a break on our own, and we'll see all of you on the other side for post-race festivities and a talk to our top 3 drivers of Mark McCrary, Aaron Bennett, and Bobby Tyrrell on the other side of our commercial break. We'll see you in a little bit from here, from all of us on LSRTV.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway, where we have our winner, Mark McCrary. He won the Folds of Honor 200, and for him, that is his first win on the season for that driver. And we're going to go through our full field rundown, talk to him and two others. The next two I'll announce through the rundown. Aaron Bennett and Bobby Terrell, they finished second and third respectively. Aaron Bennett made it a lot closer than what it seemed in 5 laps to go, but definitely made it a close one to watch. Justin Michael and Jamie Walker, they finished next to each other in the same fashion they did last week, and fourth and fifth for those two drivers. Scott Simley, he finished sixth, and the last driver to finish on the lead lap actually was Scott Formosa in the 7th place. Justin Kleiber finished 8th. Stephen Herring, he finished in that 9th position, and then Greg Mall, he finished 10th.
In 11th, we got Dwayne Dunn, 12th to 77 of Dylan Phillips. The 4 of Robert Gillenwater comes home in 13th. Robert Barber in 14th. 15th, Ralph Vandervorst. Shane Hawther in 16th. Ricky Howell Jr. in 17th. 18th goes to the 99 of Tristan Beats. Chris Guibault in 19th. And 20th goes to the 55 of Michael W. Waters.
Yeah, not that many drivers actually out of this race, just about 5 or 6 of them. And to round out those drivers, Louis Robinette finished 21st with George Hendricks behind him, 22nd. Jason Jacoby, 23rd, and Matt Mara, he finished in that number 24 position. And as we finish out the running order for those guys, and we're going to get to talk to Mark McCrary, who has won his very first race with USR in their BNC Lawn and Landscaping Truck Series. Mark McCrary, welcome to Victory Lane. I'm sure this one's a pretty special one for you, being the first one, I believe, for you in these trucks at this junction. How'd you get it done with that number 31 machine?
Track position. That was a huge key. I was able to get by some lap traffic, and if it wasn't for Aaron having to pit on that backstretch, he probably obviously would have not had to go through traffic, and he was definitely faster than I was. He was catching up, but yeah, if it was a 205 lap race, I would have been real worried for sure because the lap traffic was getting. But I was surprised. I was really good in the long run, but I really didn't have much for short run, and it worked out.
Now, you have definitely gotten yourself, I'm going to be saying that you're probably going to get a little bit of accustomed to this win. Going forward, you've had some good finishes lately, but this one definitely puts the icing on the cake. Is definitely looking forward to a good second part of the season for you in that 31 machine. How's it going to look for you in the next couple races?
I look forward to it. This is definitely probably one of the best wins by far ever I've done on iRacing. The competition level of these guys is just really, really good. They're all clean racers. Having a great time in the league, and to get a win, yeah, it's definitely special.
Now, you only have it looks like this was going to be your 8th start on the season, so not a full-time driver and not in the hunt for the championship. But when you do race, you come guns a-blazing, it looks like, especially tonight in a night like tonight in the Folds of Honor 200. You do win that checkered flag, of course, and probably means a lot to all the drivers out here tonight. But for you, definitely a big spectacle. Tell us about how it worked out for you in today's race, getting up to where you were. We didn't really notice you until the later half. We're like, wow, he made up a couple positions, and then next thing we know, we come back from commercial break. You're in the lead, and we were there until the end of the race. Started 8th.
Yeah, early on in the race, I was pretty far back, and then I think we were probably about 6th or 7th with a long green flag run, and on a green flag run, about from lap 90 to 110, I was passing quite a few cars. I think I was about maybe 6 or so, and short pit just a little bit, and that got me run 3rd, and that was probably how it was going to actually work out if it stayed green. But that caution came out, and I edged out Scott. And then, like I said, where Aaron had that bit on that backstretch, it got me the lead and the track position. So that's how I was able to hold him off.
Well, congratulations here on your win, and definitely we don't want to let you go without letting you have a chance to thank everyone out there who makes it happen for you, the 31, and you yourself out there on the track.
Thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and of course Aaron for all the work he does on the league, All Out Motorsports, and Fire Marshal Bill's always done a lot of help with everybody, and Warink, thank you very much.
Well, congratulations on your win. Next on the roster, we're going to talk to the number 3 car from Aaron Bennett. Aaron, so far, you've made a lot of good races, and this one was just... Oh, wait, sorry, I need to throw this down to Kelly. Sorry, Kelly's in charge of the interview. My bad.
I was
Kelly,
starting to sit back. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's not my job anymore.
Go, Kelly.
All right, Aaron, there was... you definitely had a different line from everyone else out there. Everyone was staying on the high side, yet we saw you consistently going to the low side. Like, what did you have down there that everyone else didn't?
Let me just say, in practice, I was junk. I don't know where the speed came from, and I was just because in qualifying, I didn't get a good qualifying, but I smacked the wall, and I said, well, I ruined the lap, so it cost me to start in the back. And I found out from practice I was overdriving it, and I ended up saving my tires, and I was able to cut underneath. I would go up closer to the wall and then cut all the way to the bottom on exit. And I stuck with that line all race. I noticed I was passing people left and right. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I'm not notoriously good at this track. I absolutely despise this place, and I ended up finishing second. I had to race one, and unfortunate cautions, but what you gonna do? It's part of racing, I guess. I guess that's what you call it.
Well, for someone who says they're not very good at this track, you certainly also closed up that gap that you had. I mean, 5 more laps. Do you think you would have had Mark McCrary?
Definitely. I have no doubt I probably would have had him. I definitely probably would have had him. And because the lap cars were up top, they didn't give him the bottom, and I was faster on the bottom. I would have used the bumper, no doubt, because that was the best. I haven't won in 6 months. I would have definitely used the bumper. So.
Well, even without a win in 6 months, you're sitting in a very good spot currently in the point standings with just 2 more races to go before the chase. How do you feel about your chase position?
I feel good. I'm going to go to Darlington next week, put in some good practice at that track, because it's another similar track like this where high line's dominant, and we'll see if I can find another line that nobody else is running and try and perfect it to the end. But I feel good going into the chase. Like I said, it's all based on points. Top 12 wins don't necessarily mean anything over here. It's just top 12 and points go. So I'm pretty safe, but I'm going to go into Darlington and definitely Richmond and try and win. I want to win a race. I haven't won on Friday either. I've finished, I think, every Friday going back last week I was gone, but in Friday I finished third here. I finished second. This is my 4th second place finish this year. I'm just getting tired of silver, but I guess Ricky Bobby was saying there ain't nothing wrong with silver.
Well, before we let you go, we're going to give you the floor, hand the mic off to you, and allow you to thank whoever you'd like to thank for this finish here tonight.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank my teammates, Jamie, Greg, George, just for everything they've done over at Young Guns. They kind of helped me out a little bit tonight, just with different ratios and offsets. Thank my business partner, Garrett Cassell, over at BNC. For allowing us to sponsor the series and keep it going. Also want to thank Toro on the hood. They have great turf care equipment. If it wasn't for Toro, I wouldn't be in business. They got really good stuff, and just thank Toro and thank the broadcasters, because I think y'all had a good race here. This was a doozy.
Yeah, it was certainly a fun one to call, and it was. I hope you had fun there on the track. So congratulations on a good finish here tonight. Hope to see you again next week in Darlington.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to give it back to Austin and for him with Bobby Terrell. So, yes, Austin, this one is your turn.
Yeah, I won't screw it up this time. Bobby Terrell, I'm with you on pit road, and try not to steal the spotlight too much from Kelly. Back to you, giving you the spotlight now, but back down to the last time we talked to you, I think was all the way back in Kentucky. I say all the way back because it's been about 3 races between now and then. Back up into the top 3. You're still in a good position points-wise, but good night for you here overall to finish third.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. Yeah, it was a good run. Had a little bit of damage early on, got in a little bit, and but just was able to work my way back up. Really didn't want that caution at the end, because I felt like my truck was really better on the long run, and but it was a good race. I mean, it's the most fun I've had here in a long time at a race like this. We had a lot of green flag runs, and it was fun.
Yeah, we talk about championship picture for you guys. You guys are currently, it looks like, in the 8th position, looking on 7th, maybe after this one, edged out Gillenwater by quite a few points. So possibly having the 7th position going into the championship. It's only a few more races to go. Hopefully we'll get another chance to talk to you before then, but in the next 2 races, we'll talk to you about those 2 races in a second. But how does your playoff picture look with the next 3 races after that with Atlanta, New Hampshire, and Dover?
Oh, I'm not sure. Next week, I think I'm going to the Supercross race, so I won't be here, and I'll have to take a provisional then. But we'll just see how it ends up after I do that, and see if I have a chance to make it in the chase.
So it sounds like Richmond's going to be either one that you're going to really love or one that you're going to really hate.
Well, if it makes me feel any better, Richmond's a good track for me, and I love the place. So hopefully we'll have a good run there.
Well, before we let you go, of course, as always, we'll give you a chance to give shout-outs to those who make it possible for you.
Thanks. Y'all up in the booth for doing it, LSRTV, USR for putting it on, and my teammate for helping me out tonight. Just thanks to, I want to thank all the drivers out there tonight for the room, because it was it made it pretty fun. I think we only had 2 or 3 cautions, so it made it a fun race.
Well, thank you for your time, and we'll let you go. And what a race. Only 13 caution flag laps, and I do believe our official number for donated dollars is going to be, was it $374 is what it was going to be. So quite the performance from the drivers tonight, Kelly, and what a great race by Mark McRae to get that win.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. I mean, normally the races at Bristol are really just a wreck fest and tons of laps are spent under caution. But as we mentioned before this broadcast, these are some very clean racers. There wasn't too many incidents, but we did see a little bit of tempers flaring and saw a few guys bumping and banging. But these guys kept it in a straight line, so we really ticked down a lot of green flag laps, which ends up being a lot of money going towards a good cause.
Most definitely. And for more information on the Folds of Honor, you can go to foldsofhonor.org and learn more about that. Probably see all about the donating and stuff like that. And to go forward, we'll always meet here next week. But to go through the schedule, starting on Monday, Gary Mercer Trucking Series with RSR is at 9 o'clock Eastern on Monday. Peak is going to be going to Fontana on Tuesday. Super Speedway Cup, as always, on Friday, and always will see us here on Saturday at 10 Eastern. And then we'll be having an iRacing Eldora Spring Classic here on LSRTV here coming soon. I do believe it's going to be next Sunday. So definitely stay tuned in. We'll be giving more details on the dirt festivities that'll be coming. Everyone here on iRacing that is in the sim or outside of the sim knows that it's coming, and definitely excitement awaits. So from all of us here on LSR TV, from the team, Evan, Andy, Laura, and everyone else involved with LSR TV, myself, Austin Coop, Cisco Scarmuza, and Kelly Dahl with me here in the booth, we want to give you a good night, and we'll see you at the next track, and it'll be a Darlington next week, same time. Good night.